Have you heard of internal focus and external focus? I have, and so have my trainers at the Xgym. Everyone who's done Xgym knows about the extreme time under tension, long duration contractions, and about how that starts to burn after a while and gets pretty intense with that burn. So there's some pain management techniques we've developed at the Xgym to help people through that so they can get the intensity out of their workouts and the results that they're after. One of these ways is called internal focus, and that's when the trainer helps the client concentrate and focus on internal sensations. For instance, on the leg press, as the client gets to the point where it's burning, like the Dickens, the trainer says, what's the shape of the burn that you're feeling? Is it a long shape? Is it a round shape? Is it more of a square? Is it kind of an oval? And that helps the client get more in touch with the sensation. Then the trainer might ask, tell me about the edges of the shape. Are they distinct? Are they gradual? Are they more blurred? So now the client is forming a picture of their sensation, which moves it to another part of the brain, away from the pain center part of the brain. Another internal cue might be when the trainer asks the client what other muscles they're feeling flexed and tensed, and then can they relax those other muscles? And it moves awareness into the other parts of the body and away from the pain sensations of the legs. I think my favorite internal focus technique is cold blue fuel. When a muscle is burning, I imagine that that muscle is being bathed by cold blue fuel, and I see it just washing over that muscle. Research has shown us that it's not lactic acid that makes us feel fatigued and slow down. Lactic acid is actually a fuel, especially at first. And so when something is burning, of course, we think lactic acid, but because it's a fuel, I tell myself that lactic acid is helping me. It's a fuel, and it's washing over my muscles, giving the muscles fuel. What science has recently shown us is fatigue is more about heat in the muscle than anything else. I mean, there's the hydrogen ions too, which I could go into, but just to keep things simple, it's heat that's the main factor that causes muscles to fatigue and slow down. So that's why I say cold. And blue is a color that helps us relax. It's also known to be more of a cold color. And so that's why I say cold blue fuel. Cold blue fuel. I keep thinking that, I might even say it, I imagine it, and that helps. We've got a lot more internal cues than that, but that's just a couple examples. Now for external cues, we might ask the client to focus on something in the room or just right there on the machine. This is all backed by research, and it's a really interesting study that's been repeated by other scientists where they will have subjects doing a certain exercise, bicep curls for instance, in one of the studies, and the scientists had the subjects focus on the handle they were holding of the bicep curl machine, and they were able to go longer and exert more force, focusing on the handle. Another external cue might be we will ask a client to look around the room and find the color blue, and then we'll ask them to change the hue of that color and the shade of that color in their imagination. Another external cue is we might ask the client to take their right hand and do opposite fingers, certain pattern. We'll pick a pattern for them. Or we'll just say pinky to thumb. Tap your pinky to thumb. Now tap your pointer finger to thumb. And we'll ask them to do that with their right hand because their left brain controls their right hand. Most of the pain centers are in the right brain, so we're moving energy out of the right brain into the left brain. Another external focus could be picking something on the wall, on the floor, on the machine you're on. Maybe it's a spot, maybe it's a weld, maybe it's a bolt. Doesn't matter what it is, but to focus on it and intensively concentrate on the shape, the structure. There's lots of reasons internal focus and external focus works. And some people are more inclined towards internal than external and vice versa. But both work for everyone. You'll find your favorite technique, the one that works the best, so of course stick with that. But you'll always be using a combination of one or the other. For me, it's mostly external. So 60-70% of the time, I'm picking something external to focus on. But sometimes internal works better. So then I'll use that. It's nice to have both techniques and several of each to be able to draw from when you really need it. Part of the reason these work is just because it's a distraction technique. And it's distracting you from the state you're in of the pain or the misery or the fatigue or whatever the state is. It helps get you out of that state. And once you break the state you're in, you can push through a little bit longer. And especially at the very end when you're at fatigue, it's those last few seconds that are worth a whole minute of any other part of the exercise because of the level of fatigue that you're reaching by pushing those extra few seconds. I could talk for another hour about all the techniques we have at the Xgym, but those are some examples and some things you can try yourself if you're not a member of the Xgym to get more out of your workout by being able to put more into your workout. So now you do it. Do it.